Doing today? Welcome back to Morrow's Math Corner. Today we're going to learn how to solve mixture problems using systems of linear equations. These mixture word problems tend to give a lot of my students some difficulty. It tends to be their nemesis. But I'm hoping that today I'm going to open your eyes to how easy this actually is. Now, the most important thing always in any word problem is please remember to label your variables. I'm going to help you out with that today. So let's get right to it. A one-day admission ticket to Cedar Point Amusement Park costs $42.95 for adults, $15.95 for children. Two families purchased 9 tickets and spent $332.55 for the tickets. How many adult tickets did the families purchase? Let's go ahead and think about this. We're dealing with a system, so we know that we're going to need at least 2 different equations, and usually we're dealing with a quantity equation and a value equation. Now, before we do any of that, let's go ahead and label. I'm going to call X my adults and Y my children tickets. And then remember, I have a value of $332.55. That's my value. And I have a quantity of 9 tickets. That's my quantity. Now, if I really think about it like that with value and quantity, check out the system I'm going to set up. My value equation is going to be this right here. 42.95 for every adult ticket plus $15.95 for every Y child ticket. It's going to give you a total value of $332.55. While X number of adult tickets plus Y number of children tickets gives you a total of 9 quantity-wise. So remember, you always have a value and a quantity. A lot of times my students don't want to work with decimals. So you can multiply by powers of 10, depending on how many decimals you want to move to the right, in order to make that conversion. For every decimal that you want to move to the right, you have to multiply by a multiple of 10. In this case, there's 2 decimals, so we're going to multiply by 100, giving me the following. And now we have our system. Let's go ahead and solve using elimination because they're both in standard form. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the x's by multiplying 4,295 to everything here, giving me negative 4,295x minus 4,295y equals negative 38,655. All right, so this has already been distributed, so that's gone. So I'm left now with my addition. I'm going to add these 2 together, and I know that the x's will cancel. My y's are going to be negative 2,700y equals negative 5,400. I'm going to divide negative 2,700 to both sides, and y equals 2 child tickets. But I'm not looking for the number of children tickets, I'm looking for the adult tickets. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my y value here of 2 and solve for x, which is 7 adult tickets, and that's what we were looking for. So bingo, that's my answer. Not bad, right? Pretty easy, actually. Let's look at another one. 3rd grade class contributed $9.20 in dimes and quarters. I don't know about you, but that looks like a value to me. And in all, there were 56 coins. I don't know about you, but 56, that looks like a quantity to me. Find the number of dimes and quarters that the children contributed to the Red Cross. Me personally speaking, I'm going to call X quarters, and I'm going to call Y dimes. And I'm going to try to think of my value and my quantity equation. I know that the value of every quarter is 25 cents. I know the value of every dime is 0.1. So 25 cents for every quarter plus 10 cents for every dime should give me a value of $9.20. And in total, I'm using 56 coins made up of dimes and quarters. So, should have this. I want to get rid of my decimals, so I multiply this top equation by 100. And now we have our system. Let's solve. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead this time and I'm going to eliminate the y. So that's going to give me as follows. So 25x, this is gone now. I already made that multiplication. So this is 15x equals 360 divided by 15. X equals 24 quarters. Okay. And now to find the number of dimes, they're asking you to find the number of dimes and quarters. 24 quarters plus y dimes equals 56. Subtract 24 to both sides, and y equals 32 dimes. Let's go. All right, not bad, not bad. You got to be saying this is pretty easy. I hope so. Let's continue. Okay, now this seems like a little bit of a mess here, but bear with me. This is the table that I create when I'm using word problems to solve mixture problems that are a little bit complicated. The mixture problems for me really get complicated when they're dealing with percents and rates. So I came up with a little system of finding areas to find your answers. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Okay, blue over here, there's an individual amount at some being multiplied by some percent or by some rate or some cost, and that's going to equal an individual value. There's going to be another amount times its own percent or rate or cost, and that's going to equal its own individual value. Both of those individual values added together give me a total value of what we're purchasing or investing in or building or creating. So that is my value equation. And then the individual amounts, okay, they add up to give you a total sum, a quantity. So let's look at this in an actual example, and I think that's going to make life a lot easier for you. You're going to understand how to make this table. Thank you. You have $1,200 invested in a money market account that paid 6% annual interest and a stock fund that paid 8.5% interest. Suppose that you earned $807.50 in interest at the end of 1 year. How much was invested in each account? Okay, just like I did before here, I have to label my X's and Y's. I'm going to label my X's and Y's here. For me, in this particular example, I'm going to go ahead and call X the 6% account, and I'm going to call Y the 8.5% account. So let's get to this. My individual amounts. I have X amount at 6%, and I have Y amount at 8.5%. So I have X amount at 6%, which gives me 0.06x. That's my value. And I have the Y amount paying 8.5%, with a value of 8.5y. In total, I know that the amount that I put into this 6% and the amount I put into the 8.5% is a total of $12,000. And I know that I earned a total value of $807.50. They did not give me the percent of the total investment, and that's okay. They didn't have to in this case. Now I have my value and my quantity equation. Please pay attention to the green for the value and the blue for the quantity. So my green, 0.06x plus 0.085y gives me a total value of $807.50 earned in interest. And then my blue amounts of x plus y equals a total of 12,000 invested. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my decimals here as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and solve. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out the x's. So I'm going to multiply by negative 60, everything. It's going to give me negative 720,000. This has been calculated, so the x's cancel. We got 25y equals 87,500 divided by 25 divided by 25. Y equals 3,500. Excellent. So 3,500 is my 8.5% account, my stock fund. We'll put SF for stock fund. And how much did I invest in my 6% money market account? Well, I've got X plus 3,500 equals 12,000. Subtract the 3,500. And X will equal 8,500 in the money market account paying 6%. And that's where your money went in these investments. Hopefully that made sense and was kind of easy for you. Let's look at another one. Please note, we're dealing with chemistry, scientific combinations and mixtures. A pure substance is always 100% of that substance. And remember that when we're working with the value of 100%, that equals just one whole. Okay? Except for water, H2O. Water is always denoted as 0% because pure water is neutral. It is neither an acid or a base. Okay, so let's check this out. Some more percentage mixture problems. You're an ice cream maker and decide that ice cream with 9% butterfat is the best to sell. How many gallons of ice cream with 5% butterfat should be mixed with ice cream that is 15% butterfat to make 200 gallons of the desired amount? Well, first things first, I'm going to label. I'm going to go ahead and call X the ice cream with 5% butterfat, and I'm going to call Y the ice cream with 15% butterfat. So my individual amount of X gallons of 5% butterfat gives me a value of 0.05x. My individual amount of Y gallons of 15% butterfat gives me 0.15y. Now you know that the mixture that is going to sell best is the mixture with 9% butterfat. We know that the total individual amounts add up to be 200 gallons. And if I take my 200 gallons times my 9% butter fat, the value here has to be 18. And that's my setup. My green is my value and my blue is my quantity. I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 100 on the top, get rid of my decimals. And now it's easy. Let's go ahead and solve. Me personally on this one, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the x's. So that gives me negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 1,000. The x's are gone. I've got 10y equals 800 divided by 10. Y equals 80 gallons of the 15% butterfat ice cream. To find x, you've got x plus 80 equals 200. Subtract 80 to both sides. X equals 120 gallons of the 5% butterfat ice cream. And there you have it. Okay. You have $20,000 to invest. You invest a portion of your money into one account paying 12% interest and into another account paying 8% interest. After 1 year, you have earned $1,800 in interest. How much did you invest in each account? Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and call X the amount that you put into the 12%. And I'm going to call Y the amount you invested in the 8%. So please remember, you have an X amount at 12%, giving me a value of 0.12x. You have Y amount at 8%, giving me 0.08y individual value. I know that in total I invested $20,000 in total. And I know at the end of the first year, I have earned a value of $1,800. Green is my value, blue is my quantity. Get rid of my decimals. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out the Y. So that will give me okay, this has been distributed. So we've got 4x, the y's cancel. I've got 20,000 divided by 4. So x equals $5,000 that I have placed into the 12% account. It's the beauty of labeling. And then I have my 5,000 plus y equals 20,000. And y equals $15,000 that I have invested into the 8% account. And there you have it. All right, let's get two more. Let's get two more in there. Store manager mixed together nuts and M&Ms to make a trail mix. The manager created 10 pounds of the trail mix and sold it for $5.10 per pound. If the price of the nuts was $3, which I'm going to call X nuts, per pound, and the price of the M&Ms, which I'm going to call Y, was $6 per pound, how many pounds of each type did he use so that the value of the mix was the same as the value of the individual items? Well, we know that we have an X amount of nuts at $3 per pound, giving me the value of 3X. And I have Y amount of M&Ms at $6 per pound, giving me 6Y value for that individual amount. In total, I know that I'm going to charge $5.10 per pound. I know that I have a total of 10 pounds. 10 times 5.1 is going to equal 51. And now I have my green value equation and my blue quantity equation. I don't have any decimals in this case, so we could go right to solving. Me personally, I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by -3 to eliminate the x's. So that's been distributed. The x's cancel. 3y equals 21 divided by 3. Y equals 7. And that is 7 pounds of M&Ms. And then to find my X nuts, we've got X plus 7 equals 10. So X equals 3 pounds of nuts. And there you have it. And last but not least, you work in a chemistry stockroom and your instructor has asked you to prepare 4 liters of 15% hydrochloric acid, HCl. Looking through the supply room, you see that there is a bottle of 12% hydrochloric acid and another of 20% hydrochloric acid. How much of each should you mix so that your instructor has the required solution? Okay, let's go ahead and first label, as always. I'm going to go ahead and label X, the 12% solution, and I'm going to call Y the 20% solution. And in total, I have 4 liters. So I know that my X has a percentage of 12, so my value is 0.12X. I know that the amount that I use for Y has a value of 20, so when I multiply those, it's 0.20Y. I know that in total, I have to create 4 liters, and those 4 liters have to be at 15% hydrochloric acid. 4 times 15%, which is 0.15, is going to equal, of course, 0.6. So now I have my green value equation and my blue quantity equation. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top equation by 100, eliminating the decimals. And now I'm going to solve, and I'm going to simply choose to go ahead and multiply by -12 to eliminate the x's. So these are gone. Now the x's will cancel. I've got 8y equals, that's going to be 12 divided by 8. And y equals 1.5 liters of the 20% solution. And then to find how much I have to use of X, the 12% solution, I plug it in. X plus 1.5 liters equals 4 liters. Subtract the 1.5 to both sides, and X equals 2.5 liters of the 12% solution. And now you've created the 15% solution for your professor. I hope this helped. Hope you find this easy. Thank you so much. Come back anytime. And you have a great day now. Take care. Bye-bye.